Alright guys, today we are swapping out the electronics on, this is actually a coworker's Tim's truck. This is an 05. So we're doing the governor pressure sensor, but we'll show you how to do the governor pressure solenoid and the overdrive lockup solenoids as well. We're not going over troubleshooting today, but Tim's symptoms is that he is stuck in third gear, and only way to get to first is from putting it to neutral and then slamming it down into first really quick. If we look at the, he has an MM3 hooked up, and we look at the governor pressure in the trans, it is showing max governor pressure, even though it's in neutral or in park, which is impossible in the valve body, so we know the sensor is not reading correctly. But we'll get this started off by pulling the pan, draining the oil, and getting after it. Now, because Tim has a aftermarket pan, it has a drain plug on it, which makes this considerably easier. If you had the factory pan, you'd be stuck trying to loosen it up and then dumping fluid everywhere. We're gonna put this into a clean bucket because it's pretty fresh fluid. We're gonna go ahead and just reuse it. Now, because he has an aftermarket pan, it's a 1/4 inch hex on this one. If you have a factory pan with factory hardware, it's gonna be a 1/2 inch socket, but I'm just gonna go through and start taking these bolts out. Okay, if we're just trying to swap out the sensor here, all we gotta do is remove these 3 7/16 bolts. We can leave this one here. That way the block doesn't have to come off. And just makes the job a little easier. And then we just gotta take off 2 T25 Torx screws. That bracket is now loose, and the whole thing pops out. So there goes the solenoid, and then the sensor pops out. Red clip. We just take that sensor out, grab our new one, plug it back in, red clip, pop it back in the hole. And then one thing that people will mess up is they'll put the bracket in the wrong land. So you can see you're trying to put that bracket in that land there. Well, a lot of times people put it in that land and it doesn't seal correctly and you're getting stuck in first. So put it in like that. Just put it in, pop it in, and she's good to go. Just put some screws back in there and just end up torquing it all back down. We're gonna pull this whole valve body out though, because we're gonna also do the overdrive and lockup solenoids on this guy as well. And now to replace the overdrive lockup solenoids, we're just going to pull the whole valve body out, and it's just a couple linkage brackets here we're going to take off. It's just a pinch bolt. You don't have to take them off all the way, just loosen them up. The TV one up top here is a 7/16, and then on second gens, the shift bracket's also a 7/16. On third gens, it's a 1/2 inch, but we're going to go ahead and take those off. We're also going to put the valve body into park, like that, make it a little easier for ourselves, and then just go ahead and pull it off. Now with that in park, we're going to rotate the drive shaft a little bit just so it clinks in. And then go ahead and remove that bracket as well. And there goes everything. Okay, and then disconnect the electronics up here. There. And she's ready to come out. Now with all the linkages disconnected up top and the electrical plug disconnected, we can go ahead and just pull the screws out of the valve body. So it's 4 over here, a row of 3 here, and a row of 3 over here. Generally speaking, the valve body will not fall. Not a bad idea to support it. It's going to make a little bit of a mess here. You can let it sit there and drain a little bit. Okay, and now the only thing that's actually fighting us now is just the friction of getting the plug out of the case. So what we'll do is we'll support the valve body up top or down below, and then we'll push that connector down through the case from the top. like that. And valve body's out. First off, we're going to remove the parking rod just because it'll come off in order to go back in the trans. Then the T25 holding the connector on. Flip this thing upside down. Go ahead and remove governor block. And it's just got 3 screws holding on the governor overdrive lockup solenoid. These are all T25 again. This guy comes off, and we just have to cut a couple zip ties there. So we got our new overdrive lockup solenoids, and we got our new sensor already, and our old solenoid because there were no issues with it. Gonna throw this guy on here. Again, it's the same 3 screws. Torque on these guys is 60 inch-pounds. If you care for a spec. Then we can put our overdrive or our governor pressure solenoid and sensor in, same as we saw before. We're just gonna go ahead and put the bracket on there, put our sensor in the hole, pop it all down in, take your screws, throw them on there. Line up all our gaskets. This is the Transgo kit, so it's got the little tin dude there. Connect in our harness. Go. Go ahead and re-zip tie the valve body harness once we get this guy screwed down. This guy just runs in there, and we'll just zip tie him right like that so he can stay out of the way. Well, thank you, Josh. Okay, we got all our new electronics replaced and installed. Just got to throw the valve body back in. So now we're going to put the parking rod back in. So this guy here, we're just going to have to fish it in, and you'll feel some resistance there, and it'll push through. How you can make sure that it is in correctly, because when this is lined up with that hole right there, you should be in park. The drive shaft can't spin. So what we'll do is we'll put it in from there, and we will spin the drive shaft a little bit, and that actually locks it in. That way we can't actually pull it out. That way it stays in while we install the valve body. Okay, a couple things. First of all, we have to obviously hook this guy back in here. So once we get it lined up, when we install it, get it lined up, we'll have to put our clip back in. You can do it with a screwdriver and a needle nose and a lot of patience. We made a little hockey stick tool. It's just a screwdriver with the end cut off, slit cut in it, at a little bit of angle. That really helps you get that clip in there. And I'll show you that here in a bit. But also, when you go to put the valve body in, you have to be very careful when you put it up to the neutral safety sensor or neutral safety switch. What'll happen is that you'll get it to where it's not quite lined up, and you push it in and you'll actually break the little plastic isolator on the valve body. So a couple things you can do. If you want to play it really safe, this is your first time, I would definitely recommend doing this. Go ahead and pull that neutral safety switch out, and then put the valve body in, and then put it back in again. What I'll do is I'll just shift this valve body all the way so it's rotated like this, and that gives you the best possibility of getting it in without having any issues. That's how the valve body looks with the rooster comb all the way over. That should be in manual first. We also got this spring. We just got to put that in there so it goes up into the accumulator. Make sure your accumulator's still in there, it didn't fall out. It's also a good time to check your bands, which that guy feels good, and that guy feels good as well. So from here we can just get this guy installed up there. So you can see the parking rod. You got to make sure that all gets lined up right like that. So that's lined up. Now you just have to line up the electronics with the holes. There we go. We'll go ahead and grab a couple of a bolt and throw it in over here just to make sure the valve body stays up. It doesn't come falling down while we get the try to get that clip on there. Like I say, a little bit of patience can make this happen, but you just put it in there with the hockey tool, give it a bop. Oh, it didn't stay. Oh, it didn't stay that time either. There we go. Go ahead and shift that guy back to where it was. There it is. Clips on there just fine. We can go ahead, put the rest of the valve body bolts in. And you can kind of see this here. What we're going to do is we're going to make sure we don't hurt this plastic isolator. So we're going to kind of lean the valve body over, get that little snout past it, just like that. And then from there, we can make sure the valve body is flush, install the bolts. We want to make sure not to suck up the valve body to the case with the bolts. We want to make sure it sits up fully by hand first. That way we don't crack anything or hurt anything. There we go. So in the valve body, there are 3 different lengths of bolts holding the valve body of the case. You have your 4 longest ones. They all go in your governor block here on the passenger side of the valve body. Like that. And then from there you have your mediums and your shorts. From there it's just the short ones get installed, 1 in the back, 2 in the front, and your medium ones get installed 2 in the back, 1 in the front. Again, we're going to want to make sure this valve body is sitting completely flush before we tighten up all the bolts. That way we know we're not going to hurt anything. Snug them all down. From here, we're going to torque the bolts to 105 inch-pounds. Okay, and then the trick for these pans is to grab the pan, put a bolt through it, that way the gasket's lined up. And just be careful with the gun to make sure you're not cross-threading anything. Just like that. Everything's lined up. We got the new reusable gasket in there. Get all the bolts going. Get them. I like to do all of them loose, get them all started, and then I'll actually torque them down. From here, we're going to torque them down to, I like to do 13 foot-pounds. I think the spec's a little lower than that, but I've had them leak, so a little extra seems to help. Okay, so first of all, we got the connector here. We're going to plug that guy back in. clipped in there. We got our shift bracket. That little guy goes up. Move some stuff out of the way. Get, and they go on there. There. Now I'll have to shift it to wherever the cable is. That pops on, just like that. Okay, snug. Now we're gonna put our TV bracket back on. You can see on this side we have a full round hole, whereas on the other side it's just a D. That D shape goes up top. Rotate a little bit so it sits over top, just like that. We do have a spring here that goes on. This can be a little interesting. It just sits in a hole on the bracket. That, and it sits in a hole on the bracket up here, just like that. Just gotta tighten up that adjustment there. Just like that. We are all connected and we're good to go. Now, if you want to deal with a funnel, that works just fine. However, when we're trying to deal with these 5-gallon buckets, it's considerably easier just to pump it back in. So we'll just throw that hose in there, throw this hose in the bucket, and get pumping. Okay, so we got the fluid topped off. We got our co-assistant in the truck. We're gonna get her started up for like 10 seconds and then shut it off, check the fluid level. Now, because we ended up putting all the old fluid back in it, we kind of know we're really, really close. So what we'll do is we'll actually start it up and let it run. But normally, if you were just starting from scratch, put your base oil in there. If you got a stock pan, put like 10 quarts in. If you got a aftermarket pan, put 12 quarts in. Do that 10 seconds and then check the fluid with it not running, and I'll kind of show you what I want the dipstick to look like. So with the engine not running, we want the fluid level to be right around here. So the reason we do this test with it not running, because if the fluid level is a little low, it'll end up sucking air, cavitating, and give us a false reading. So with the engine not running, you know it's a solid number. We want it right around here. If it's down here, we can put 2 quarts in. If it's right here, we can put 1 quart in. And then you're gonna get the fluid level to right around here without the engine running. And then from there, we'll do our tests and put it in neutral with the engine running and get our fine-tune adjustment. Another thing to mention is that these sticks actually have a cold fill level. So you can see the OK range right there is, that's our hot fill. Our cold fill range is from that hole there to there's a little O towards the bottom end of right there, you can kind of see it. That from there to there is our cold fill range. So that's what we're shooting for. The truck is shifting back to normal. We got second gear there. So thing works. So we're gonna do a quick fluid level test, just because it's always a good idea to take it for a quick test drive and then check the fluid level again in case there's any air in the system, and then we're gonna call this thing good.